Oh, for the love of fuck. No, I don't want it to look at Telegram. I want it to look at this. Select a subregion. Okay.
But at the same time, they give you
No,
enough
it's
to
not.
go.
God damn it, hang on. Down, bring that over. That's start editing scene. Press that.
Go off of throughout the run to kind of
That's
give you an
fine
idea as
then.
to how the game works. Like, for example, on this level right here, those yellow switch blocks are
And
in and
move
out
forward.
of phase. And if you press the switch button, it does actually switch between the phases that they are in. So they definitely gave a nod to the old design philosophy of let them figure it out on their own, and in turn, definitely
Half
was
an
pretty
hour.
self-explanatory once you kind of get used to the game itself. And of course, this game's a puzzle platformer. The goal is to grab 5 hooligan sisters in each incident, and then hit our boy Gendarmer here at the exit, and continue on without the run or throughout the run here. So yeah, coming up here is Incident 2, and what we're looking at is a new mechanic. Well, to anyone that's not familiar with the series, called the launch blocks. And when you're inside them and shoot yourself through, you actually get propelled in the direction that the arrows point. There's not really much else to say about those besides they're definitely a fun little part of the puzzling in this game here. So yeah, you're definitely good for a bit of donations here if you want to Zach SK.
All right, we have $100 from Wolf44. Keep up the great work, runners and staff. Put this Benjamin towards half-minute hero being named Iwata. May his legacy live on.
Oh, thank you so much for that kind donation there. So coming up here is Incident 3. And Incident 3 here introduces these fire rock guys and these wood blocks here. During a regular new game run, you would actually have to use those rock guys that are on fire to clear out those wood blocks. But since this fire extinguisher defies all conventional laws, it actually completely burns up those wood blocks as well. And one thing I know that the level designer Austin Ivan Smith likes to do with a lot of his Mighty Switch Force games is include some kind of vertical platforming in his levels. And this is definitely one of the finer examples of that here in the Mighty universe.
$50 from Maestro Mori. Amazing marathon so far. AGDQ 2015 was my first time getting to watch live and donate, and I've been watching AGDQ ever since. I've been glad to be able to help such a great cause.
All right, so the reason I keep those blocks is it just allows me to walk into that launch blocks. It just saves a little bit of time, but definitely a nice little thing there. And one huge difference between this run compared to Mighty Switch Force is that it's a lot less execution-based and more rewarding for precision. So you're going to see me making a lot of really tight jumps here that are normally really difficult to pull off on a regular playthrough. And yeah, this is a pretty self-explanatory incident, so feel free to read a few more donations.
We have $25 from Azurite Reaction. Hey, I've known this guy for like 7 years. I had no idea he was a speedrunner. There we go, follow his Twitter and Twitch account. Good luck on the run. I think that was during the last game.
Cool, cool. Yeah, you'd be surprised actually how many people just kind of come out of the woodworks in the speedrunning community here.
We have $10 from the dedicated servers. We love SGDQ. The only thing better than playing video games is watching someone better than you play them. $50 from Yum Fu. Been watching the GDQ marathons for a few years now, and this SGDQ has been great so far. Let's make sure the Chrono 100% makes it to the marathon.
All right, so coming up here in Incident 5 is this is actually the first incident where I introduced death warping into the routing for the game. And basically what I'm going to do is avoid all of the fire hydrant checkpoints here to allow myself to death warp to a more advantageous position once I'm done collecting all the Hooligan Sisters here.
$20 from Anonymous. Love what you guys are doing. Longtime supporter, sending love from Australia.
All right, so as soon as I collect that Hooligan Sister and smash myself into the foreground there, I pop up right here, right next to Gendarmer, which saves a decent chunk of time.
$30 from Anonymous. This never happened before. Still seems to be a thing.
All right, so coming up here, this incident is, it revolves around a lot of these launch blocks here. They're definitely fun to kind of mess around with and figure out where to go exactly. But since this is a speed run here, I'm just going to use a few of them, grab all the Hooligan Sisters, and book it out of town.
Well.
Hey, there we are. All right, so Incident 7 right here is actually one of the first examples of some really tight platforming here. There's not much to really say besides it gets pretty tight coming up here.
Could you move?
$50 from Robin251. Been watching for 2 years now and first time donating. Glad the money is helping out people. Shout out to my sister, Stephanie. By the way, kill the animals.
All right, so coming up here is actually a really tight jump that I hope I make. If not, it only just costs me a little bit of time. But I can actually bonk my head here. Oh, shoot, didn't get that. And that actually allows me to just fall through since I'm knocking the blue block out of phase and bonking on that red block there. So unfortunate I didn't get it, but definitely a cool trick to see if that's something I end up hitting at some point in a run.
We have $375 from Jay Hobbs. I told Villagen I'd match him on the donation from his run, and I counted 20 deaths and 20 failed bashes. So here you go. Put this towards Demon and Choco for Chrono Trigger. $10 from Ponk. I joined in to watch Symphony of the Night and Shantae and was amazed by how beautiful a game Ori was. I love the GDQ and all the runners breaking such great games. Thank you all.
Yeah, so that switch I did earlier on in that sequence there, definitely a really tight switch. And that's something you'll see in a couple more parts here throughout the run.
Okay.
All right, so Incident 8 is home to one of the first individual level tricks I'm actually going to forego here, mainly due to the sake that it honestly saves just a fraction of time. Normally I would jump between that first block I landed on up there, but I just switched and used the top block there. It's pretty much a pixel perfect jump, so just decided not to go with it and in turn save, or just lose a little bit of time there. And oh yeah, this incident right here actually introduces those hot little
Again.
ovens there. Basically, the idea is you want to blow out those fires before you stand on them, and they can definitely be really punishing with poor placement of the hose there.
You want to do some trading?
Let's see what you got.
Right.
You have $30 from Conti Zero. Thanks for all the runners and staff. $51 from Anonymous. I want to salute the courage of Doctors Without Borders. $10 from Qbrex. Hey, I may not have much to give
Oh,
or much to say,
Jesus.
but I do have a lot of love for all those involved in SGQ. What you're doing is fantastic, and I hope everyone has a great time. Heart.
All
right, so Incident 9 here has a lot of red-blue switch block puzzles here. And due to really strong routing, a lot of it is actually pretty streamlined. You're going to see some things that might make you go, hey, what was that? But for the most part, it's pretty much just abuse of some of the placement on some of these things. Huge shout outs to just all the people that have helped route this game. I've got a lot of help from Ndede. I did a lot myself as well. In the earlier stages of this game, Soothing Plum Tea actually helped with a bit of routing as well. And the current world record holder back has actually optimized a lot of really cool things throughout the run as well. So huge shout outs to the
Speaking of
few but
fucking up.
proud Mighty Switch Force 2 runners that have shared a lot of their strats for each level here.
Oh, that's right. I got a level, didn't I?
All right, so incident 10 right here. This is definitely where these ovens get a little more punishing. The hose can be a really mysterious thing sometimes because there's actually two factors that go into the positioning of each individual particle it shoots out. Not only does the strength of the hose at the time of firing cause certain positional things, but it also depends on whether or not the screen is scrolling. So it can definitely get a little wonky sometimes, but a lot of just getting good at this game in general is just making sure that you can adjust to all of the craziness.
Put more points into thingy or put more points into thingy.
All right, so cool little thing coming up here. There's actually just enough space here between these blocks just to kind of shimmy your way through. So no need to switch and just sit and waste time there. All right, so incident 11 right here. Normally you only see maybe one death warp in a lot of incidents in the Mighty games, but this one actually requires two. And it's actually a little bit faster than climbing your way up to the Gendarmer at the end of one of these parts here. So I'm just gonna grab a couple Hooligan Sisters, smack myself into the foreground,
I'd
and
like
do
to
that
trade some items.
definitely one more time as well coming up here. All right, so I'm gonna grab this Hooligan Sister right here, and this block looks pretty nice. And now, so what I'm going to do here is actually set up some switch blocks, oops, let's jump again there, to make the next part a little more fluid. So now I can just hop down here, shoot right through, and now I get everything back into sync here, and grab my last girl, and smack myself again. So the cool thing about this Death Warp is it spawns me right under Gendarmer, so I just jump up and continue on with the run.
$30 from Anonymous, multiple time donator from both GDQs. Love all you do for Doctors Without Borders. Shout outs to the folks from NeoGAF watching. Keep fighting the good fight.
All right, so Incident 12 is another one of those really cool vertical stages. Oh, hey there. Let's grab you. And there's a lot of really cool little optimizations in this level. And on top of that, there's a pretty obvious one once I kind of explain it coming up.
Crop's been growing pretty good lately. Hi. Sure. Let's see what you have. Great.
All right, there we go. Let's see if I can get this. Okay, I messed that up actually pretty poorly there. Ideally, I want to smack that rock between those 3 blocks there, and that'll actually cause that little sequencer to be a 1 cycle. But since I actually had a really bad pattern there, I broke the 2 blocks and just kind of had 1 each spaced out there. I actually had to go for a 3 cycle, which looks like it wasted about 7 seconds there.
We have $20 from Ivan Smith. Austin from Way Forward here, matching your $5 per failure in the Roddy area. It's simultaneously exhilarating and frightening watching you guys completely break the games we make. And we will be talking about it in the office hours tomorrow.
So, funny that Austin Ivan Smith donated right there, because one thing that he talked about in his dev speedrun of Mighty Switch Force Hyperdrive Edition is that one thing he really likes to see is broken logic in his puzzles, and it's a little late to really say too much about it, but that first Hooligan Sister, normally you have to kind of loop around and grab her, but since I shimmied myself just right, I was able to pretty much skip that entire puzzle and in turn save a decent chunk of time. So coming up is another IL strat that I'm kind of gonna just not go for just because it can be really nuts sometimes. This green and red block right here, it is possible to actually switch in between them and just continue on like business as usual. But it's a really tight space there. Definitely something that is not marathon safe by any means. So I just forego that and I'm just gonna kind of continue on here.
$50 from Ryan Henyard. Greetings from Ann Arbor. Had to donate and support these amazing runners and thank Way Forward for all the joy they've brought to gamers over the years. Special shoutouts to Jake Kaufman for making such memorable music.
Oh yes, and we cannot forget about Jake Vert Kaufman. He has done a lot of the soundtracks for Way Forward games, and more recently has kind of branched out. But his music is honestly one of the biggest reasons why I come back to these games, on top of course, the excellent platforming. So huge shout outs to him for making such memorable and beautiful soundtracks.
Dangerous look about you. Hope you ain't here for me.
So this is another one of those incidents with a lot of logic breaking in terms of the puzzles that are demonstrated here.
Nope, this does not give wood, but it does give copper. I'll keep that in mind.
Here, coming up will be one really streamlined approach to this puzzle right here. You just kind of let it take out that guy and just kind of shoot along here. On top of that, there's a really neat trick that Back found out. If you jump and shoot right there, you can actually take out that dirt block, and then all you have to do is jump up, take the other one out, and grab that Hooligan Sister a lot quicker than dealing with that puzzle that you have right there. Alright, so now instead of actually doing this puzzle as well, I'm gonna just shoot him with that blue block there. Saves a decent chunk of time, especially if you hit everything just right.
No, we're done.
Take better care of yourself in the future, okay?
Alright, and the reason I'm switching into that blue block is because I can just shoot that guy right there.
Actually, I need some
And
supplies.
hey, another Hooligan Sister.
I suppose I could spare some stim packs.
Alright, so I freed up that last Hooligan Sister, and we are now going to make our way to Gendarmer.
$50 from Gen 15 Lean. Found GameStone Quick in 2014 and have watched STDQ 2014, HTDQ 2015, and STDQ 2015. Glad I can finally donate. It helps.
All right, so incident 15 is a fairly linear incident. There aren't a huge amount of speed tricks, but of course, we're pretty clever runners of this game. We've come up with some pretty interesting solutions to some things. And one of the cooler ones you're gonna see is definitely at the end of this incident here. And while this is kind of running out here, I just wanted to check, has the donation incentive been met for singing the credits for this game?
I can look into that. It has.
It has? All right. Well, hey, the end is coming up after this incident with Incident 16. We definitely have a healthy amount of time still until then, because in a true Way Forward Mighty fashion, the last incident is an auto-scroller. But hey, I get to brush off my singing voice and hopefully do the song justice here.
Likewise.
Hi, CFB. Owen Duke, I owe you a kick in the butt, by the way.
He did say that.
All right, so Incident 16 is an auto-scroller, as I mentioned before. There's a really cool trick I can pull off here, so I'm just going to go for it. It actually doesn't save any time, but it looks really cool. So let's see if I can hit these cycles just right. So I can jump over here and take some hits with the fire here. And that's a cool way to get through there. But honestly, it does not save any time at all. I actually tested it in practice right before this. And it's a shame because it's really cool at the cost of making that cycle a little harder to hit. So yeah, this incident's great for donations. I pretty much only have like one other thing to say coming up quite far from now.
All right, well, we have $25 from Tolpledge. First time donating to a GDQ. Gotta love Shantae and Mighty Switch Force. Ret to go, baby. Also, save them animals. We have $300 from Venbot3000. Watching GDQ runs has helped me through some difficult times in my life. And I'm hyped to finally donate. Shoutouts to Essentio Plexel for their Chrono Trigger run. I've never met you, but you guys are awesome.
I can feel it this time.
$50 from Yikes. This event is amazing.
Come on,
Watching the
let me talk
classics
to you.
and finding new games to
What have
love.
you got to
Keep up
trade
the
there?
amazing work, guys. $10 from Q Marsh. Let's help the doctors clip through the borders and go out of bounds. $55.02 from EDR. Reporting in to rep the 502 and destroy the borders. Loving the event as always. Currently watching from working, so can't bring myself to look away. Keep up the great work.
So yeah, sadly with these blocks right here, unlike the first earlier incident where I could just kind of hop through them, it's not really a thing on this part. But one really cool thing that they included in this game here is that if I jump and just kind of hop over right there, I actually don't have to go through this next part at all. This part is something that takes up a decent chunk of time and is definitely a welcome shortcut here from the level designers at Way Forward. All right, so if some of you may be wondering where these hooligan sisters may be, I still have to save 5 of them, but they have not shown their faces throughout this level. And we're actually reaching the final boss of Mighty Switch Force 2. Much like the original Mighty Switch Force, this boss plays home to all 5 of the hooligan sisters, and I basically have to damage him to grab them each time. This fight is honestly a nightmare with the regular hose because you have to hit that eye 3 times. And on top of that, a lot of the fire that will be coming up is really hard to deal with the regular hose. But yeah, I just gotta keep harassing his eye and grab those hooligan sisters. And I have to grab all 5 of them and hit him one more time, so time is definitely coming up soon.
Also, like the final boss in Mighty Switch Force 1, this boss is unexplained completely. Pretty much.
You
It just
Yeah.
comes out of nowhere.
All right, got plenty of supplies.
Let's see
Yeah,
what
that's
you have.
one of the really fun things. There is a little bit of lore to the Mighty Universe, but a lot of it's kind of left to the just player's imagination. Each hooligan sister doesn't even have a name, but there's definitely a lot of fun fan-created names that a lot of people like to use. I'm a huge fan of the alliteration names personally, but you do just hear many different kinds from all the different fans that are huge fans of Way Forward games here. All right, so let's see if I can time this correctly here. I've never used a foot pedal before. And, no, I did a little early, but that's time.
Wow.
All right, how did I do?
So 12.
23.
23-29.
23-29, hey, not bad. But hey, so yeah, that was Mighty Switch Force 2, and we now have the ending credits to sing.
Oh, baby.
So I have the lyrics pulled up, boys, so
right,
if you
let's
don't
go.
remember them, let's take a quick look.
Set the world aflame.
You light it up, are you
ready?
Life just ain't the same. We've got that heat, get you right up on my feet.
Got to hose it down.
Gonna need a rescue, oh please and thank you.
Turn that ladder around.
'Cause it's so hot, your love is all I got.
You're my rescue girl. You can save the world. I hope in my heart, when I'm apart, I keep it yearning. So rescue me. I can finally see you're mine. In your eyes, I see the planet is burning. Rescue girl, yeah, you are the world to me. I promise I'll be there for you forever. So rescue me. Come and set me free, alive from the flames in my heart.
Ooh. I think there's another part coming up, right?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. The words are a little different here, so I'll just kind of get comfy, hang out a little bit.
Sit comfy.
Oh, here we go.
Set the world ablaze.
I've got this smoldering affection.
Let me count the ways.
I need to know so bad.
It to the ground.
Light me up. Cool me down, baby.
Move it to the sound.
Got the hot stuff. Yeah.
Set the world aflame. Life just ain't the same. Got to hose it down. Turn that ladder round. You're my rescue girl.
Oh, hey, it's over.
Damn.
Boy, thank you so much for watching, guys. It's been a wonderful time. And
Sorry, Twitch chat.
Yeah. I am so sorry.
I'm not.
I'm not.
But I guess last words. I mean, Way Forward has these games on sale, so if you liked what you saw and want to give it a try, I mean, by all means, give it a whirl. And yeah, I think the Sound Defense and I will take some time later on, I guess this morning locally, to go through the times and maybe dole out some codes. So thank you again for watching, and please stick around, because up next we've got Hotline Miami 2 by the Bilgewater.
No one on
Thanks
the-
again, guys.
Duke Bilgewater.
I forgot what I'm doing here.
All right, 3, 2, 1.
Go?
No, go. Yeah.
Go.
I've got to get people
Yeah,
up.
so this is
I'm
Hotline
going-
Miami 2, the much anticipated and much delayed sequel to Hotline Miami. And in some ways, it's largely the same game as the first one, but in other ways, it's very different.
So give me
The
like
first thing you'll notice is I'm using a gun a lot,
Give
and
me
you're going to be
some time.
seeing that for pretty much most of the run. Guns are the best option for dealing with large crowds of enemies, and this guy